What's the story, amigos? This is Kino with some cool stories for today's story time.
Today you can travel to Dinosaur Land with Terri Garr, Kino, and his friends.
Surprisingly good. Stuart got some great photographs of the area.
And a little animal tries very hard to find his own magic.
Magic, of course, shouted Pip. Magic might help me be brave in the dark. I'll find old Abra and ask him for help.
And a girl receives a gift for being kind.
But when she touched her new brush to the canvas, something strange and wonderful happened.
Major funding for Storytime is made possible by a grant from Helen and Peter Bing, so that families everywhere can share the joy of reading with their children. Additional funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support from viewers like you.
Yeah, I like to think so. Yeah.
You were great.
Oh, hi. Hi. The amazing Kino is back. I'm going to go over there and show Terri and my buddies the magic trick we saw the other day. Remember, Mara?
Oh, I sure do. That's a great idea.
How did it go again?
Well, gee, I don't know. The magician just did his hocus pocus and then the flowers appeared.
Let me see. First I got the flowers down here. I'll show you. Okay, then the hocus pocus. The eye of a cat, the tail of a monkey. I dream of pizza for the amazing Kino. All right, I'm ready for the big magic trick. Excuse me, Mara, okay?
Of course, amazing Kino.
See, I think he had the flowers up his sleeve. This is gonna be so cool. Oh, hi, everybody. Hi.
Hello.
Say, how would y'all like to see a magic trick, huh?
Yes, we
Would
would,
you?
wouldn't we?
Okay, here I go. Now, I say my hocus pocus. Here I go. The leg of a cat, the nose of a monkey. I dream of pizza for the amazing Kino. And then I do this. Gee, it's not working too well. I think I need to do it one more time.
Okay.
Hang on, guys. Here I go. The leg of a cat, the nose of a pizza, I dream of monkeys for the amazing Kino. Ding blast it, I can't do it. Oh.
No, you'll get it. Don't give up. Keep trying. In the meantime, shall we read a book?
Oh, yes. Do you have one with magic in it?
Well, yes. This book tells of a special kind of magic. Time travel. Now, if we traveled to a time a long time ago, what kind of animals do you think we'd find?
Dinosaur.
Dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs, yeah.
What else?
Dogs and cats.
Dogs and cats? Maybe. Do you know?
Elephant.
An elephant?
Elephant?
That's right. Well, in this story, a class of boys and girls goes on a trip together. And guess what they end up playing with in this book?
The dinosaur.
Dinosaurs!
Dinosaurs. Oh, that sounds like a good story. Let's read it.
Okay. This is called Time Train by Paul Fleischman, illustrations by Claire Ewert. Where to? The ticket seller asked. Dinosaur National Monument, Miss Pym, our teacher replied. In Utah. That'll be gate 44, the Rocky Mountain Limited. The man counted out 8 tickets. What takes you out west? A field trip for spring vacation, I spoke up. We want to learn all about dinosaurs. The man's eyebrows jumped. In that case, you want the Rocky Mountain Unlimited, gate 44A. And hurry! We just made the train as it pulled out of New York. By the time we reached Philadelphia, we knew we were in for an unusual trip.
That's weird.
Something funny's going on here.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, we picked up some new passengers. In Ohio, Miss Pym demanded to speak to the engineer, but he was busy. At night, the conductor handed out blankets. In the morning, we noticed the weather had changed. What's that?
Snow.
Snow. It looks like it's awfully cold there. And do you know what this is?
An elephant.
It's an elephant, but in the old days, I think it was called a mammoth. Big, big, big elephant with lots of hair on it. Yeah. Dinner that evening was surprisingly good. By the next morning, the weather had warmed up quite a bit. That afternoon, we got off at our stop. We couldn't find the Green River Motor Lodge, so we settled for a patch of dry ground nearby. In the morning, we saw our first dinosaur. Emily and Alexander decided to do their project on it. The rest of us fixed scrambled egg for breakfast. I decided to study Stegosaurus eating habits.
I'd love to ride on the back of a Stegosaurus.
I know, doesn't that look like fun?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can if you can find the time train. Every afternoon we came back to our camp and went swimming or played ball. Stuart got some great photographs of the area. What's that?
The flying dinosaur bird.
It's a flying dinosaur bird, but there's a special name for it. And I think it's pterodactyl.
Yeah.
A pterodactyl.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like a pterodactyl. In fact, it is a pterodactyl. We were having such a good time that we hardly noticed the days passing. Then one morning, Miss Pym heard a whistle. It was the Rocky Mountain Unlimited making its return trip. Back in New York, my father met me at the station. See any dinosaurs, he joked. 1 or 2, I replied. I guess she did see some dinosaurs, didn't she?
Yeah. Haley and Danilo, how would you do it if you wanted to go back again to be with the dinosaurs? How would you do it?
On an airplane.
On an airplane. That sounds like a good idea. It would go pretty fast. How would you go back in time?
Skateboard.
A skateboard, I knew it. I don't know why, I just knew it.
That sure was a magical train traveling through time. If I could go back in time, I think I'd go back to see how the magician did that famous flower trick of his. Let me see if I can do it now, okay? I'm going to try it again.
Okay, let's let him try it again.
Here I go.
It better work this time, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's watch. You want to watch?
Here I go. The leg of a cat, the nose of a monkey. I dream of pizza for the amazing Kino. Ay, ay, ay. Well, maybe Mara remembers how to do it. Would you excuse me for a minute? I'll be right back. Mara, I need a little help.
Oh, how can I help you?
Well, do you remember even a little bit how the trick goes?
Oh, I'm sorry, Kino. I don't remember.
I'm gonna give up. I'll never learn this trick.
Well, don't say that. You know, I have a book that might give you some ideas.
Does it show how to do the flower trick?
Well, no, but it is the story of a little animal who tries very, very hard to get what he wants. Let's go read it.
Oh, okay. Oh, too bad. Mara doesn't remember how the flower trick's done.
Well, maybe there isn't really a big secret behind it, Maybe it's just a matter of determination.
Of determine what?
Determination, Kino. That means to keep trying.
Oh, well, I see, but it's hard when you don't know how to do something, right, guys?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, why don't we hear Terri read this book and see if there's anything we can learn?
All right. Let's read this one. This is Pip's Magic by Ellen Stoll Walsh. Okay. I'm afraid of the dark, said Pip. Even shadows scare me. His friends didn't know how to help. But the frogs did. Ask old Abra, the wizard, they said. He's over by the big pink rock, turning stones into mushrooms. Magic, of course, shouted Pip. Magic might help me be brave in the dark. I'll find old Abra and ask him for help. Pip ran to the big pink rock. If you're looking for old Abra, you're too late, said the mouse. He went into the woods, and he won't be back. Pip sighed. It's as black as shadows under a rock in there. But the wizard has magic, and I need magic to be brave in the dark. I must try to catch up. And he followed old Abra into the woods. No one could find the wizard in here, said Pip. I can't find my own feet. At last, he saw sunlight peeping through the branches, and he followed it out of the woods. If you're looking for old Abra, you're too late, said a sparrow. He went into the tunnel, and he won't be back. Then I'll go too, said Pip. Oh dear, the tunnel's as black as night with my eyes closed. But the wizard has magic, and magic might help me be brave in the dark. And he followed after old Abra. Pip ran up and down the tunnel and looked in all the darkest hiding places. The wizard wasn't there. Pip found his way out just as night was falling.
If you're looking for old Abra, you're too late, said a snake. He went over those hills, and he won't be back. Yes, yes, that's a snake, isn't it? Yes.
The night is as black as river mud, Pip said with a sigh. But I need magic to be brave in the dark. And he climbed through the night after old Abra. Pip found old Abra, resting where the sun rises. Please give me magic, old Abra. I need magic to be brave in the dark, said Pip.
But you already have magic, said the wizard. You found it in the woods, and in the tunnel, and in the night. You have enough, and maybe some left over.
Pip tested his magic just to be sure. Old Abra was right. He wasn't afraid of the dark. Pip took his leftover magic to a quiet place. What are you doing? Asked the frog. Shh, said Pip. I'm turning stones into mushrooms.
Gee, that was a terrific story.
Yeah.
Say, you guys, are you afraid of the dark? How about you, Danilo?
No?
No?
You're a brave guy, aren't you?
Yeah,
Are you afraid
also.
of the dark?
No,
No?
No.
Okay. Well, let's see. What are you afraid of?
nothing.
Nothing. This is a brave woman. What about you? Are you afraid of anything?
No,
Not even your big brothers?
No.
That's what I like. Spirit.
Oh, I have a question. What was your favorite part of the story?
Going in the tunnel.
When he went in the tunnel.
Yeah.
And he wasn't afraid, was he?
How about you, Haley? Did you have a favorite part of the story?
Yeah.
When he got his magic.
When he got magic?
Yeah.
When did he get the magic? At the very end?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end.
Oh, I know why. He found out that he was magic like everybody else, right?
Boy, that sure is a different kind of magic. No magic at all.
Why do you say that?
Well, because Pip did it all on his own. Just like Abra told him. You know, that... What was it that Abra told him?
What did he say? What did the wizard say? Did he say something like, you already have magic? Did he say that?
Yeah.
And I guess Pip believed him, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's right. Well, you know, even though Pip was scared, he kept trying to reach the magician. It's important to keep trying and not give up too easily.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not giving up. I'll keep practicing till I get it right.
Well, how would you like to hear another story with magic in it?
I'd love to hear another story. I'll just listen and practice. I'll be determined like Pip. I won't give up. No, I won't. I won't. I won't. I won't. Oh, hey, look. It's Kirsten about to read a book. Let's go.
Okay. This story is about a girl who is an artist, and she likes to paint. She's very kind and generous, but her brothers call her plain, and that's another word for saying that she isn't really pretty, so... But she does make friends. Mm-hmm. Do you have any friends?
I have lots of friends. I have lots of friends.
What are their names?
Timothy, Kyle, Emily, Tori.
And you like your friends, right? They're good.
I like all of them. Sometimes.
Well, this girl finds out that it's not important if you're pretty or not. It's important that you're good on the inside, and that's the most beautiful of all. This story is by M.C. Heldorfer, illustrated by Julie Downing, and it's Cabbage Rose. It's a pretty title. Okay. Have you seen how each day the plain yellow sun paints the world in wonderful colors? I met a girl who could do that. She was an artist, and she painted skies and rivers and children's faces as perfect as roses. But the girl herself was plain, and her brothers called her Cabbage. Cabbage lived and worked at her brother's inn on the road that wound through the king's forest. Many people stopped by this inn. Ladies on their way to meet the prince, rich men who hoped their daughters would win the prince's heart, and once, on a half-moon night, a magician. He arrived after all the other guests were in bed. The brothers, too, for they were a lazy pair. Only Cabbage was awake, painting in a room alight with candles. She sprang up to help the man, but the magician told her, "I will rest here." Then he sat to watch her paint. The next morning, he left before Cabbage awoke. She found the blanket with which she had covered him in. Neatly folded, the pot of tea she had made him was empty. Beside it lay a new paintbrush. Cabbage carried the magician's brush in her pocket all day. And when her work was finally done, she began to paint again. Roses, like those a beautiful lady might bring to a prince. But when she touched her new brush to the canvas, something strange and wonderful happened. The petals she painted unfolded, stems and leaves twisted free. The fragrance of roses filled the room. Whatever the girl painted became real. In a few days' time, the inn was crowded with curious people. Under her brother's watchful eyes, Cabbage painted small gifts for the guests and toys for the children. Others tried the brush, but only Cabbage could paint with magic. Only plain girls need magic, her brothers jeered. They drove away the crowds and barred the shutters and doors. Paint me a pearl, the older one demanded. Make it the biggest one in the world. Trembling a little, Cabbage picked up her brush. A pearl large and luminous as the rising moon rolled off her easel. Then the other brother cried out, "Paint me 2 diamonds as big as windows." She did, and she painted chandeliers like ice fountains, rugs soft and colorful as a peacock's feathers, cups twisted with silver, and chains of gold. The more she painted, the more the brothers wanted, until, too weary to go on, Cabbage fell down by her easel. She awoke alone. Quickly, she painted a bag and a cape. And on the shutters, stars, moonlight, and trees. Then, gathering her paints and brushes, she climbed through the window into a summer night. Cabbage followed the forest road without stopping until she reached the marketplace of the king's city. It was noontime, and farmers' stalls were filled with good things to eat, but she had no money. For cheese and bread, she painted a farmer's face on the side of his wagon. For a bolt of strong cloth, she painted a proud weaver. For a room of her own, a portrait of weavers' children. In that room, she hid her magic brush, afraid that her brothers would hear of her. Every morning she went to the market to paint. The farmers greeted her cheerfully, and children gathered close to watch her work. Cabbage was happier than she had ever been. Then the summons of the palace came. The prince said to the artist, "My father and I have heard of your skill. If you will paint 12 pictures for our great hall, we shall reward you richly." So Cabbage began her work, and the prince came to watch. He came the next day and the next, bringing her little surprises. Wild flowers, smooth stones, a shell from a faraway sea. The prince was filled with wonder by the artist's pictures. While she painted, he told her tales, some true and some magical. Once he told a tale of love. Cabbage blushed, and he called her Rose. On the day the last painting was finished, Cabbage cried. She did not want to leave, for she had fallen in love with the prince. In her room, she took out her magic brush. Standing before a mirror, she painted a face as lovely as though she had seen in the palace, a dress prettier than she had ever worn. With the last soft touch of her brush, her own dress changed. She smiled, and the perfect lady in the mirror smiled back. Slipping her brush in the bag, Cabbage hurried to the palace. The guards did not know her. The king welcomed Cabbage as a stranger. The prince greeted her and turned away. So Cabbage drew out her magic brush and painted jewels that glittered like a handful of stars. "Tell me what you wish for," she told the prince. "I can paint it real." "Then paint Cabbage Rose," the prince replied, "for the world is plain without her." Cabbage broke the brush in two. She stood before the court herself again. Some kind of magic ended then, but the people say another kind began. In the marketplace, they celebrated Cabbage's return. The children gathered close to her, laughing and talking while she painted. No one could keep them still, except the prince, when he told a gentle tale about a girl named Cabbage Rose. I like that story, did you? Yeah, that was a good story. What would you do if you had a magic paintbrush?
I would paint things like rocks and trees and birds and streams And people and roses.
You would paint everything, right? You would paint the world all over again. I like this story a lot because the prince falls in love with Cabbage Rose for who she really is, kind and generous. And once you've found love, that's the best magic of all.
I like that. Love is the best kind of magic.
Yeah, well, that maybe's true, but I still wish I could get my magic trick to work. Maybe now it will. I'm gonna try it.
Okay,
Let's see. Should we watch it?
Okay. The tongue of a cat, the eye of a minnow. Can you believe it? It's the amazing Kino. Oh, it worked. Hey, it worked.
Oh, that's terrific, Kino. Your determination paid off.
Yeah, and I didn't even need a magic brush.
That's right. You didn't give up, Kino, and that's great. And we are very proud of you.
Well, thank you very much.
And now for our amazing story picks. I would like to recommend this book of magic. It's called The Wizard. This is my recommendation for today.
Oh, and I like this one. It's called Can I Have a Stegosaurus Mom? It's for kids like me who like dinosaurs.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you'll come back for our next story time. And until then, keep a story in your heart.
Bye-bye, my little dinosaur tails. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Today's Storytime books are Time Train, written by Paul Fleischman, illustrated by Claire Ewert. Pip's Magic by Ellen Stoll-Walsh. Cabbage Rose, written by M.C. Haldorfer, illustrated by Julie Downing. The Wizard, written by Bill Martin Jr., illustrated by Alex Schaefer. And Can I Have a Stegosaurus, Mom? Can I, please? Written by Lois G. Grambling, illustrated by H.B. Lewis. You can find these and other books at your local library.
Major funding for Storytime is made possible by a grant from Helen and Peter Bing, so that families everywhere can share the joy of reading with their children. Additional funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the annual financial support from viewers like you. Storytime is a production of KCET Los Angeles.